Now, a new analysis shows that the 6-ton iconic altar stone at the heart of Stonehenge.
For more than 5,000 years, the towering stones of Stonehenge have stood in silent defiance of explanation, an ancient puzzle that has baffled historians, archaeologists, and scientists alike. Generations believed its secrets were forever locked in stone. But when powerful artificial intelligence was unleashed on the monument's hidden patterns, the results stunned researchers. Beneath the surface, the AI detected structures and mathematical alignments no human had noticed before. And what it revealed wasn't just unexpected. It hinted that Stonehenge may be far more complex than history ever imagined.
The archaeologists were finished, packing up and ready to go. They did one final survey and made the most remarkable discovery of the entire study, 3 feet below the earth.
The day artificial intelligence looked at Stonehenge for centuries, scholars have tried to understand the true purpose of Stonehenge. Some believed it was a religious site, while others thought it served as a solar calendar. Recently, researchers approached the mystery differently. Instead of studying evidence separately, they gathered every scientific record ever, collected about the monument, and analyzed it together using advanced artificial intelligence, processing thousands of data points, from laser scans and excavations to magnetic readings and celestial alignments, to uncover new insights. Once the information was uploaded, the artificial intelligence began searching for patterns. Unlike human researchers, who usually analyze one data set at a time, the AI could compare everything at once. It looked for hidden relationships between the shape of the stones, their spacing, the way sound traveled through the circle, and how the structure interacted with the surrounding environment. Slowly, patterns began to emerge, patterns that human researchers had never noticed before. The relationships were far too complex to detect using traditional methods of study. When the system finally finished its analysis and the results appeared on the screen, the room fell completely silent. Acoustic engineer Trevor Cox from the University of Salford stared at the display, struggling to process what he was seeing. Next to him, musicologist Rupert Till carefully read through the findings. He paused, looked back at the screen, and then read them again. After a moment, he quietly asked whether the system might have made a mistake. Perhaps the software had malfunctioned, but the system had not failed. The analysis was consistent, and the conclusion it reached was both surprising and unsettling. The results suggested that the long-accepted explanations for Stonehenge might be incomplete, or even wrong. According to the AI's findings, Stonehenge may not have been built simply as a ceremonial site or a primitive astronomical calendar. Instead, the structure appeared to function as something far more deliberate. The analysis showed that every stone, every gap, and every alignment seemed to serve a precise purpose. The positioning of the massive stones created very specific acoustic effects inside the circle. Sound waves bounced, echoed, and focused in ways that could influence how people inside the monument experienced music, voices, and even silence. At the same time, the orientation of the stones interacted with sunlight, shadows, and the surrounding landscape in highly intentional ways. The structure also appeared to respond subtly to the natural magnetic field of the area. Taken together, the evidence suggested something extraordinary. Rather than being just a symbolic monument, Stonehenge may have been a carefully designed system, a structure engineered to produce powerful physical and psychological experiences for those who entered it. In other words, the ancient builders might not simply have been erecting stones for ritual or decoration. They may have been constructing a kind of ancient technology designed to shape human perception, sound, and atmosphere within the circle. If the AI's interpretation is correct, it forces us to rethink everything we thought we knew about the monument. What once appeared to be a mysterious ruin might actually be the remains of a sophisticated piece of prehistoric engineering. And if that is true, then the people who built Stonehenge thousands of years ago may have understood far more about sound, space, and human experience than modern researchers ever imagined. What did AI find hidden inside the stones? What information did the AI examination reveal about Stonehenge? let's delve into the details of what AI revealed about Stonehenge. The secret engineering hidden inside the stones. For many years, people thought Stonehenge appeared suddenly as a completed stone circle. However, AI analysis revealed it evolved over nearly 1,500 years. The earliest version, built around 3000 BC, contained no stones at all, only a circular ditch, an earth bank, and wooden posts placed inside the enclosure. Over the centuries that followed, the site continued to evolve. New builders arrived and began to modify what earlier generations had created. Some of the original wooden structures were removed. In their place, large stones were brought in from distant locations. Certain stones were repositioned, while others were carefully added to create new rings and patterns. With each passing generation, the design appeared to become more deliberate and more precise. It was as if the builders were gradually perfecting a plan that stretched across many centuries. The monument was not static, it was constantly being refined. For many years, researchers believed that the arrangement of the stones functioned mainly as a calendar. Some stones seem loosely aligned with a 30-day lunar cycle, while others may mark divisions that resemble 3 10-day periods. These patterns led scholars to think Stonehenge helped ancient people track the passage of time. But when artificial intelligence analyzed the monument, it took a different approach. Instead of focusing on astronomy or calendars, the system examined the physical properties of the stones themselves. What it found surprised many researchers. The stones did not appear to be chosen simply because they were large, durable, or visually impressive. Instead, they seem to have been selected because of their acoustic, magnetic, and resonant qualities, properties that influence how energy, vibration, and sound behave. To explore this possibility, acoustic engineer Trevor Cox and his research team carried out one of the most detailed sound experiments ever related to Stonehenge. Since the real monument could not be altered for testing, the team created a half-scale model using highly accurate 3D printed replicas of the stones. Every stone in the model was placed in exactly the same position as in the original structure. This miniature Stonehenge was then placed inside a specialized acoustic chamber, designed to measure how sound moves through space. The researchers produced various sounds within the model, human voices, drums, and musical instruments, and carefully recorded how the sound waves behaved. What they discovered was remarkable. Inside the stone circle, voices sounded stronger, deeper, and more powerful than they normally would in an open outdoor field. Instead of fading away quickly, the sound seemed to stay contained within the circular space. When drums were played, the vibrations filled the entire structure. Listeners standing inside experienced sound coming from all directions at once, creating a powerful and immersive atmosphere. It felt as though the sound wrapped around the body. Yet the most surprising discovery involved echoes, or rather, the lack of them. Normally, when sound strikes large, solid surfaces like stone walls, it bounces back sharply, creating clear echoes. But inside the Stonehenge model, those harsh echoes were almost completely absent. The specific arrangement of the inner and outer stones disrupted the reflections in such a way that the sound remained smooth and controlled. This kind of acoustic effect rarely happens by accident. It requires careful planning and an understanding of how sound behaves within enclosed spaces. Which leads to a remarkable conclusion. Thousands of years ago, the builders of Stonehenge may have possessed a sophisticated understanding of how stone structures could shape and control sound. The monument may not only have been a visual or astronomical structure, it may also have been designed as a powerful acoustic environment, where sound itself played a central role in ancient ceremonies and gatherings. Apart from the revelation AI made about Stonehenge, are there other reports that shed lights on it? Where did the stones come from? Let's find out. The strange power of sound and the mind. The mystery surrounding Stonehenge grew even deeper when a researcher named Rupert Till began carefully studying the famous bluestones that form part of the monument at Stonehenge. These unusual stones were not originally found where the monument stands today. Instead, they came from the distant Preseli Hills, nearly 150 miles away. Moving such heavy stones across rivers, hills, and rough land would have been an enormous challenge for ancient builders. Naturally, this raises a puzzling question. Why would people thousands of years ago go through so much effort just to bring these particular stones? While examining them, Till made an unexpected discovery. When he gently struck some of the stones, they produced clear ringing sounds, almost like metal bells. The tones were sharp, musical, and surprisingly loud for ordinary rock. Even more fascinating is the name of the area where these stones were taken from. In Welsh tradition, the location is known by a name that roughly translates to the ringing stones. This suggests that people living in the region may have known about the strange musical quality of these rocks long before they were moved. But the mystery did not stop there. As Till continued his research, he noticed that the arrangement of the stones seemed to produce something unusual: low-frequency vibrations known as infrasound. Infrasound is a type of sound that exists below the range that human ears can hear. Even though we cannot consciously hear it, our bodies can still detect it. These vibrations move through the chest, bones, and internal organs, quietly influencing how we feel. Modern scientific research has shown that infrasound can trigger strong emotional reactions in people. When individuals are exposed to certain frequencies, they often report strange sensations. Some feel sudden chills or an unexplained sense of unease. Others experience pressure in their chest or stomach. A few even claim to notice faint shapes or movements at the edges of their vision. In laboratory experiments, researchers have observed calm and relaxed people becoming noticeably anxious within just a few minutes of exposure to particular infrasonic vibrations. What makes this even more intriguing is the effect infrasound has on the human mind. Even though a person can still think clearly and logically, the body may react as if something powerful or threatening is nearby. This physical response can heighten emotions and make people more sensitive to suggestion, especially when someone in authority is speaking. Now imagine what it might have felt like to enter Stonehenge thousands of years ago. You have traveled for days to reach a mysterious place spoken about in quiet voices. As you step into the circle of towering stones, you begin to feel a strange vibration in your chest. You cannot hear anything unusual, yet the sensation is unmistakable. Then a priest begins to speak. His voice echoes across the stone circle, reflecting from the surfaces around you. It seems to come from every direction at once. Your heartbeat quickens, your skin tingles. A deep sense of awe fills your body. In that powerful moment, if someone tells you that the gods are present, your body might already believe it. Some researchers, and even modern artificial intelligence analysis, have suggested a remarkable possibility: that the builders of Stonehenge may have intentionally designed the structure to create this exact psychological experience. What is special about Stonehenge? What special features does this structure have? Let's dive into the details of the timeless wonder of ancient Britain. The Stonehenge stands as one of the most mysterious and fascinating ancient monuments in the world. Located on the wide, open landscape of Salisbury Plain in Wiltshire, England, about 2 miles west of the town of Amesbury, this prehistoric structure has captured the curiosity of historians, archaeologists, and travelers for centuries. Built thousands of years ago, long before modern machines or engineering tools existed, Stonehenge remains a powerful reminder of the creativity and determination of early human societies. At first glance, Stonehenge appears as a circle of massive stones rising from the ground. The outer ring is made up of tall sarsen stones, large sandstone blocks that stand roughly 13 feet high and about 7 feet wide. Each of these enormous stones weighs around 25 tons. Resting across the tops of many of these standing stones are horizontal lintel stones, carefully placed to connect them. What makes this even more remarkable is the construction method used. The stones were joined using a technique known as mortise and tenon joints, a woodworking method that locks pieces together securely. Seeing this kind of precise engineering applied to such massive stones makes Stonehenge unique among ancient monuments from the same period. Inside the outer circle lies another arrangement of stones known as bluestones. These stones are smaller than the outer sarsens but are still very significant. Within this inner area are structures called trilithons, 2 large upright stones, supporting a single horizontal lintel placed across the top. These trilithons once stood in a horseshoe-like formation at the heart of the monument. Although many stones have fallen or been damaged over time, the remaining structure still gives visitors a strong sense of its original design and grandeur. One of the most intriguing features of Stonehenge is its connection to the movements of the sun. The entire monument was carefully aligned with the natural cycles of the year. During the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, the sun rises in perfect alignment with the main axis of the stone circle. Likewise, during the winter solstice, the setting sun lines up with the monument in a similar way. This precise positioning suggests that the builders had a deep understanding of the sky and the passing of seasons, and that Stonehenge may have served as an important ceremonial or astronomical site. The area surrounding Stonehenge adds even more to its importance. The monument sits within a landscape filled with ancient earthworks and burial sites dating back to the Neolithic and Bronze Ages. In fact, this region contains hundreds of burial mounds, known as tumuli, forming one of the most concentrated prehistoric landscapes in England. These surrounding monuments show that the area was a major center of activity and spiritual significance for ancient communities. Stonehenge was not built all at once. Instead, its construction happened gradually over many centuries. The earliest stage began around 3100 BC, when people dug a large circular ditch and raised an earth bank around the site. Later, between 2600 BC and 2400 BC, the enormous sarsen stones that form the famous outer circle were brought to the location and carefully arranged. Scientific dating methods suggest that the bluestones were placed in their current positions sometime between 2400 BC and 2200 BC, although they may have been brought to the area even earlier. Today, Stonehenge is widely recognized as one of the most important historical landmarks in the United Kingdom. It is often seen as a symbol of British heritage and ancient culture. The monument has been legally protected since the late 19th century, and in 1986, it was officially recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The stones themselves are owned by the Crown Estate, while the site is managed by English Heritage, with the surrounding land cared for by the National Trust. Archaeological evidence also suggests that Stonehenge may have served as a burial ground from its earliest days. Human bones discovered at the site date back to around 3000 BC, around the same time the first earthworks were created. These findings show that for at least 5 centuries, the area was used as a place to honor and bury the dead, adding another layer of mystery and meaning to this extraordinary monument. Are the stones originally from Britain? Were they transferred there from other places? Let's dig into the details of the origin of the stones that make up Stonehenge, the stones that traveled across Britain, and the mystery in the sky. Research into Stonehenge revealed growing mystery. Massive blue stones weighing 2 to 5 tons and giant sarsens over 25 tons raised questions about how ancient builders moved them. Scholars long debated whether glaciers transported the stones naturally or whether early humans carried them using primitive tools, ingenuity, and remarkable effort today. Recently, researchers turned to advanced artificial intelligence to study the problem more closely. By examining geological surveys and the chemical fingerprints inside the stones, the AI system helped scientists trace where the stones originally came from. Most of the results confirmed what many experts already suspected. The blue stones were traced back to the Preseli Hills in Wales. The huge sarsen stones appeared to come from the Marlborough Downs, roughly 25 miles away from the monument. But one stone produced a completely unexpected result. Near the center of Stonehenge lies a large slab called the altar stone. When scientists analyzed its mineral composition, they discovered that it did not match the geology of southern England at all. Its chemical signature pointed somewhere entirely different. After comparing the stone with large geological databases, researchers found a remarkable match. The stone likely came from northeastern Scotland, nearly 600 miles away. Later research led by geologist Anthony Clark supported this discovery. The idea that ancient people could move a 6-ton stone across nearly the entire length of Britain using Neolithic technology seemed almost unbelievable. Yet the geological evidence strongly suggested that this is exactly what happened. Some experts now think the builders may have transported the stone along Britain's coastline using boats, carefully navigating tides, winds, and ocean currents. If this theory is correct, it would mean that these ancient people possessed impressive knowledge of long-distance travel and navigation. Yet the mysteries of Stonehenge do not end with the stones themselves. The monument is famous for its connection to the sky. Every year, thousands of visitors gather to watch the sunrise during the summer solstice and the sunset during the winter solstice, when the sun aligns perfectly with parts of the structure. However, when archaeologists compared the monument's layout with reconstructed ancient star maps, they noticed something unusual. One of the alignments pointed toward a part of the sky where nothing existed. No star, no planet, no constellation. It was simply darkness. Archaeoastronomer Giulio Magli examined the alignment carefully and confirmed that it appeared to be intentional. This raised a fascinating question. Perhaps the builders were not aligning the monument with the sky as it looked in their time, but with how the sky might look in the future. Then, in 2024, another breathtaking moment occurred. During a rare event known as a major lunar standstill, astronomer Clive Ruggles stood inside the stone circle as the moon reached an extreme position along the horizon. As moonlight spread across the monument, something extraordinary happened. The light moved perfectly through the spaces between the stones. Shadows formed exactly where they were meant to appear. Despite 5,000 years of wind, rain, and erosion, the ancient structure still worked with stunning accuracy. In that moment, researchers realized something remarkable. Stonehenge was not just an ancient ruin. It was a functioning instrument, a carefully designed structure built to track movements in the sky with astonishing precision. And that realization leaves us with a powerful question. What event in the heavens was so important that ancient builders spent centuries creating a monument to mark it? 5,000 years later, the stones still stand, still aligned, still waiting. So what do you think about the revelations from AI's examination? Does it support researchers' findings? We'd love to hear your opinions in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe.